gives a shit. I don't care.
Gotta be your bowl, though.
Yeah, right. If we're going to movie quote tonight, we should just do that all episodes.
It's pretty much what we usually do, so don't worry.
I do it a lot.
Welcome back, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
It's been a long time. Because that's the problem with when you have parties, you see people, you're like, oh, hey, you've been great, your kid's awesome, but you don't really get to talk to them now for however long we want to talk.
When you're yelling at Husker games, too. Like, that was a tough one to yell at. So.
How much yelling did you guys do the last 2 games?
I actually didn't watch them. I haven't watched the last 2.
There was just a lot of, like, just grabbing my head, like,
the last game was Rutgers, right?
I just don't get it. Yeah,
Rutgers.
And we beat Rutgers.
Yeah, had to storm back 13 points down, but
they did it.
But they did it. That's the key.
Got to be.
I checked in.
Good. Rutgers had a good record,
and it was 14-1.
I think going to the game.
Yeah. So I checked in. It was late. It was 14-3. I was 14-13, and I was like, "Oh wow, we did good."
Wait, was that Rutgers?
And then when I watched the replay, I was like, "Oh wait, actually did really bad."
Yeah, we
were not in control in that.
Yeah,
at
we
all.
started off.
When was that game?
That was last
Friday.
Last Friday.
Oh, last Friday was Indiana.
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's right.
I was at the Indiana game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was. So I'll take the last time I was. I don't know. Let me start over. So.
I was at the Oklahoma game.
I sat in the student section for the first time in 20 years. So that was pretty cool.
That's dope.
Fun?
That was pretty cool, yeah.
It's a different experience.
You paint your chest?
Noticeable change. They bring a lot of fireball, the students do. Like shooters of fireball. And
there was
then
a lot of flasks when I was there.
And then but like, I mean, like we would sit there and hide that shit because even when I was there,
bring it there
in early 2000s, it was like they always had people coming down to tell you, up and down the aisle, telling you get off the seat, don't stand on the seat. But not this time. Apparently, there's no get down guy or gal. And then,
well, I mean, honestly,
no one was. And then
it's good publicity.
There was just a lot more policing going on in the student section when I was there. I didn't see shit, and we sat on the aisle, like right next to me and my cousin, like. The one that was here for your football party, like we sat right there on the fucking aisle and didn't get bugged once. Like some dude got kicked out because he was like noticeably intoxicated, but outside of that, like I hardly saw them at all walk by.
That's
and
awesome.
There's kids just like fucking Tom Bradying some shit down the field, down into like first and second rows. Some people are dumb and like firing them into the family section.
I thought it's like you be respectful. You're allowed to drink, but kind of be respectful. Which hopefully someday we will be allowed to drink.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have that.
Oh, you're still not supposed to drink in the stadium? Or
no, this is college, dude.
You
There's
can
only
have,
like 2
you can have your
stadiums.
soda and water. That's
they don't
much
sell
it.
beer in there?
No,
not
I
yet.
thought they had changed that last few years.
The PBA,
they allow it.
The indoor stadium for basketball is going to do that this year.
Oh,
so you can go watch basketball games this fall and winter, and drink in the Pinnacle Bank Arena or PBA. But Memorial Stadium is probably about 3-4 years away. I think they want to try and renovate it because they're talking about renovating it.
But they're
for
just
next
letting
year.
the students just out, like just fucking way out there drinking.
Dude, yeah, they're just having a good old time, man.
Shit.
I saw more belly buttons than I had in one day than I have in my entire fucking life. I'm not even gonna lie. And I went to school there, and I was there during the summertime. But dude, I don't know, man. Like this generation's all the oh hey maybe I did. This generation's crazy, man. Like,
yeah, I believe it. I was at the Oklahoma game, and it was packed during the first quarter for kickoff.
I was there too. Yeah,
even some fucking girls just came in, sat down next to us. Like we saw them take a selfie and watch a drive, and then they left. Literally, and the old people that we were sitting next to
they just showed up, did a selfie, and left.
Watched 4 drives, and they left or whatever. And it was just like, all right, I guess.
Ticket
and then by the end of the first quarter, because it was bad that Oklahoma game, you saw it. Most of the stands were kind of starting to trickle out, And then halftime, everyone was leaving, and I was like, I'm staying for the marching band, and then we'll go.
Why the marching band?
Because the marching band is
they work hard. They want to be appreciated.
Yeah.
You ever play an instrument there?
We have a pretty good marching
life
band.
that you work hard for and you want to be appreciated for. You don't always get awarded.
If Kansas City had a marching band, wouldn't you watch it?
Yeah, you would. You prick.
You would watch it.
They have a band, don't they?
Yeah, I'd watch marching.
Doesn't Kansas City have a band that sits in the end zone?
But they don't march.
Fair. But they have a band that plays down there in the end zone. I
think
remember going to
so.
KC games like back in the early, mid thousands,
Some
late
drummers
thousands
or something?
Well,
No, they'd have like a guitar, bass, and drums. Like a 5-6 piece band.
Oh,
and,
band.
and,
Special
and
thing
horns,
one night,
and then
maybe, I don't
horns.
know.
Then they'd have like
ska
people.
band.
I was thinking of a ska
Dang near.
band for that.
Basically a ska band down there, if memory serves. But this was when ska was popular, so I don't know if they
didn't this past Monday.
Okay, fair enough. So they basically passed on them like America's passed on ska now for the most part.
Do you need to?
That was like a year, wasn't it? I mean, I remember when I was in like junior high. Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 30 days away from 40.
Okay, so
Oh, shit.
Okay,
Jesus.
so
Happy birthday.
That era, I remember very briefly when bowling shirts and ska were all the rage.
Yeah.
And so I remember going to Target and buying like 3, 4, 5 of those like dragon bowling shirts. Yeah. They weren't actually bowling shirts. They had like a bunch of dragon shit all over them, like the full graphic tees. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. Then I go bowling, and I got my own bowling ball. I still have it.
Nice.
And shoes. Oh my god! No one would want to date me in high school. I was cool as shit for like a very small gap of time, and then nope, you think it's cool.
That's funny.
So birthday shots.
Sure.
I got these from touring the Boulevard Brewing Company before the Chiefs game on Monday.
What is that? Is that a bourbon?
Yeah.
I'm
glass.
I'm really
I'm a
thinking
big
that's
bourbon guy.
They're the
I
Foundry
had no
Distilling
clue that
Company.
Boulevard made
I'm
a
really
bourbon.
thinking that's a sipping.
I like
whiskey. I don't know
Boulevard
if
beer.
Shoot.
How was the brewery? How was the whole day? I mean, you went to the game, and
Oh yeah. How was that?
Well,
do you want to recap it for us as you pour the
Hold on.
shots?
Don't interrupt him pouring the alcohol, asshole.
No. He can do
I can
both.
pour and talk.
Glass.
Yeah, he can pour and talk. I know he can.
So
I'm excited, man, because I like stuff you can't get here in Nebraska.
Quick talk.
Exactly.
Quick talk. Oh, no.
Speaking
we
of
had
which, did you hear Yingling's coming?
Come on.
Yingling's
So talk-
coming.
talk-
Well,
wait.
to
Oh,
Missouri
you're
and
not-
Kansas.
What? I don't even know who that is.
Yingling, the
There you
beer.
go. And
Ying-
talk- say something-
okay.
say something
Nice,
there,
yeah.
say something- Oh, no.
this shot's for you.
Really? Good.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
coming to
You
Missouri,
haven't yet
and
once
Kansas,
talked about
and
pouring.
Oklahoma next year.
These are the people
that's
talking.
close.
Getting close enough to where you can take a 3-hour drive and go buy some. Just drive down to St. Joe.
For sure. Go camping down
Get
there
some
or something.
fireworks
Yeah.
and some Yingling now.
I don't understand the fast age of the England.
It's
It's
just
good.
because you can't get it here. It's
It's
like
good.
Chick-fil-A
We
was
drink a lot of
before
it in
Chick-fil-A
South
showed up.
when we were going to South Carolina for golf trip every spring.
Oh, okay.
It's nice and crisp.
It's a big popular
Yeah,
deal in
it's
there.
good.
Really
but
is.
I mean, I don't get
We
like,
drink so much of it that I kind
If
of got
it's
sick of it.
expensive, I'm
You're
not into it. But
You guys,
I
Wisconsin.
don't
Oh,
know, it's like
Wisconsin.
any other beer.
Perfect. Lake Geneva.
Yeah, Spotted
Wisconsin,
Cow.
Spotted Cow. Remember the whole thing about Spotted Cow?
oh, I
there?
do.
And our boss at the time bought like 2 cases to take home, and we ended up drinking like most of it while we were there. Because we leave the bar restaurant, we met at the hotel, and you go, "Oh guys, I have beer." And we're like, "Okay," and we're just drinking his beer.
It was gross.
I
didn't really care.
I
for
don't
It's just meh.
see the
Yingling,
appeal.
I think, is better than Spotted Cow. Shoot me
Oh.
now, people who.
Well, I've only had Spotted
No,
Cow
that's
once.
fair. That's fair enough.
I didn't get it.
Yeah. It
Yingling
sucks.
is, it's good.
Yingling's just smooth.
Happy
Cheers,
birthday,
Happy birthday.
Ryan! It was also John's birthday on Wednesday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Okay, thanks.
Go Chiefs.
This might be it. All right.
Salute.
That's
I'm gonna sip the next one.
really good.
Yeah, I was
I'll
gonna
tell
say
you what,
something.
Niners defense in our fantasy football league, fucking money. I got them, and I got the Eagles defense. They're both getting me like a lot of points. a
So
week.
Yeah,
can
they're
you,
also winning me games, so it's really sweet.
Can you
Like,
at least recap like what you were going through during the
Oh, yeah, that's
Chiefs
right.
game?
So my brother picked me up in the morning. We got some breakfast sandwiches and some 5-hour energy drinks to take later in the day.
Okay. Sandwiches from where?
QT.
So instead of sneaking in shooters or fireball, you're shooting in 5-hour energies because you're old.
No, I said for later.
Yeah, for later in the game.
Yes.
Let,
for
let,
later.
let Derek
Yeah,
tell
they
a
wouldn't
story.
sneak-
Instead of
saying.
fireball, he's taking shots of 5 meters.
Yeah.
Now, did you get some shooters of Ensure while you're out?
That's a good joke.
I'll
next time
tell
I
you
sit
that
in the
part.
student section.
All right.
Hey, what's it called?
No. We're not playing that right now.
Oh.
Derek's telling his story.
So
I farted.
yeah, we know.
Oh, he wasn't. He looks very confused.
No, I'm
I'm a little confused too.
What happened?
9 o'clock. We're already cracking open the seltzers. I think we were like 3 deep or maybe 4 deep when we got to
Seltzers,
Kansas City.
White Claws or Trulies?
I think they were high noons.
Whoa!
Oh, those aren't seltzers.
Jesus.
Those are just vodka. Aren't those just like vodka?
No, they're like, actually, you know what? I think we did start off with White Claw in the morning, and we got High Noon later.
The High Noons are dope.
The first gas station we stopped at, I
Fucking
picked up some High
badasses.
Noons.
All right.
Have you gotten like ripped off White Claws?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like exactly what he did throughout
Yeah,
the
dude,
day.
I got ripped on fucking White
and,
Claws.
and what happened when
What's
you
that?
got
And then we went
Kansas
fucking
City.
clothes shopping when we pulled into town about 11 o'clock. And right at 11 was when Kansas
was
City
not
Joe's
expecting
opened.
that.
So I call up the Kansas City Joe's. I'm like, yo, I need to put an order in. We're hoping around 3. And they're
Well
like,
done.
yeah, we can pick you up with that.
That's
so,
awesome.
Really?
yeah, I had a
Wow.
fucking sick-ass
That's
Kansas
the
City
trick
Chiefs
there.
tank top to wear for volleyball. It's like a fucking cool, old-school-looking one. After we did that, my brother and I went to Boulevard Brewing Company. And
We got the bourbon.
yeah,
Whiskey.
that was pretty cool. You learn like the whole history of the company, a lot of history about brewing beer in general.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see all the different vats and everywhere the mashers and all that stuff. And like,
potatoes?
everywhere you stop, they're like have you sample like a couple different beers, like little 6-ounce taster glasses. When we first got there, I had basically altogether 4 free beer tickets. So when you're done with the tour, there's a bar you can go up to. So we got 4 free beers. And then they gave us this like card that basically gave us 40% off at the gift shop. And they just had a lot of cool shit like sweaters, cool hats.
That's where you bought the tank
alcohol. That's where I got this.
Oh.
And I bought a hoodie and our sick ass hat for my brother. Yeah, so 40% off though. They're like, "Oh my god, does the owner know you? Like, he must really like you guys." Like, no, I got it from like, the beer rep that I got the package from the cystic fibrosis charity event. So I got like this whole package deal to go.
Okay.
That's stuff I track now. I remember when you won that. That's cool, man.
Yeah, so we
he paid for it.
Yeah.
Bid it on.
Still
win
though,
it.
you
Win
bid
it.
on
You
it.
win.
You still won on a
Win-
bid.
win
Like
the
you put. It
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like it was free 99. Like
No.
you won that shit because you did the right thing.
No, essentially, it's for a good cause.
yeah, I help people with cystic fibrosis by indulging in my Chiefs fantasy.
All right, perfect. That's all.
If there's a will, there's
Well,
Need
then-
no,
well,
needs
it's
no
like-
explanation.
While we're at the brewery, though, it was pretty fun. Like, Jordan and I were, like, talking and having a good time with the lady hosting everything, and we're getting on her good side. She's snapping pictures with us and shit.
dope.
So when we get down to the basement area after, like, all the different pit stops and sampling all this beer,
Pete stop.
yeah, there's, like, pit stop before the main bar,
Peace out.
where they just, like, give you some more samples. So you turn in, like, the badge you have to wear that shows you're 21, blah, blah, blah. And they give you, like, I think you get 3 choices. And then we had, like, ended up getting 2 additional freebies a piece. So we ended up with 30 ounces of beer we drank in, like, probably 40 minutes.
Yo.
Sampling all this different shit.
That.
Then we took the tickets to cash them in up at the bar and got way too fucked up. And that's when we were like, we're fucking drunk. We couldn't finish our beer. It was like, we got to fucking get out of here.
Yeah.
So my brother's resolution to that was, well, here's an edible.
Yeah.
I haven't been hardly smoking at all. It's like been on Thursdays usually.
45 minutes later, you're just staring at the
Yeah,
floor.
we pick up our Z-Man. So like, dude, Chris Jones is just like going to be behind you guys like 15 minutes. And we're like, oh, sick. So we get our sandwiches, go down there, and I just literally sit in one of those gravity lounge chairs, you know, for like
Yeah.
outdoor areas. And for like an hour and a half, just chugging 8 bottles of water, something crazy like that. Finally, like I get up, take a piss, like, get my blood moving, and start throwing the football, and that was pretty fun. But
Dude.
yeah, that was just
I'll
the
do
journey to get there. The dudes like parked 2 doors down from us. They were like burning the whole time. They're like, "You guys want some?" Like, dude, like seriously, we just took edibles. We're pretty fucked up right now. We're at the brewery.
Sitting there all red-eyed. Yeah.
But this was before the game.
Yeah,
Game
we were
hasn't
out there
even
doing. Like, we
started
got
yet.
into
Yeah,
Kansas City by 11, and we were drinking at 9.
How was the crowd during
Okay.
the game then?
Oh my god, dude! So
Pretty juiced
we
right
sat
away?
up in the club seats.
Yeah.
So the yellow ring around in there.
What does that
You
mean?
never have to wait in line for anything.
What does that mean? Like you're still like outside, but you're just like on
It's
a different, higher level.
So the guy I got the tickets from,
You get
it's
your
his
own little
season
door
tickets.
to walk in and out of, and there's probably like 13 to 50 seats just in that.
They have
Like,
the exact same
are you
amenities,
behind
same
glass?
bathrooms, really. The little thing's a little bit nicer, but
Yeah.
because it's just for that specific strip. You have to go through a locked door to get in there.
Yeah.
It's just a limited amount of people. So you go take a piss, there's always a stall available.
It's not like a suite, but it's like a neat little
Need your
area
dick wiped,
where-
sir.
I can't wait to shit in here but in silence.
But it's a neat place where you're like where you need to go if you're not in your
You've
seat.
been in that level?
You're like, well, I've done it at a Husker game before. I think DU came
Yeah.
with me too.
Yeah,
It was
that was
kind of
sick.
similar probably, but outside because the tickets I got.
Well, I've been up way
we
up
were
on
inside,
top
which
like
was
that.
effing weird. But it's still the weirdest game experience I've ever had, and I've been to a lot of Husker games. But sitting inside with an old guy that looked like he was about to fall asleep 9 times at the end. That guy, that was fucking funny. But yeah, watching it indoors and the glass being really good, like at noise canceling. So when the crowd got loud, and
I don't think I would like that.
yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
like,
you're really separated from
And
like,
remember,
the crowd
Scott
experience.
Frost actually beat the piss out of PJ Fleck once, and we were there for it. Like that was that game.
The only
And-
time that happened.
Yeah, and there were so many touchdowns. The
It was the
crowd was
first win of the
cheering.
season.
It was the
like-
first win of the season because we didn't get the Akron
Oh
game.
my
that
God,
year.
that's right. That
It
was
like
the first
46,
year or
23
whatever.
or something like that.
It
or-
was 56-23. Like Adrian
Wow.
Martinez and Divino Zigbo just went ham all day, and the crowd was loud cheering and stuff like that. You couldn't hear it. You could barely goddamn hear it. And we were in the front row right by the window.
That would the tailgating thing explains why there's so many videos on World Star about people getting power bombed off of tailgates onto folding tables.
Oh, that's just in Buffalo.
So, no,
but-
I get that. But
So basically, you had
What
just
is
an outdoor
that?
experience
What?
similar
Yeah,
to
yeah, we were outdoors, and it's kind of cool. So, like the inner bowl, if you've been inside.
yeah.
So that next, very first top of that, or bottom, I guess, that next tier,
Yeah.
that's got a little strip of that is where those seats were at. So you're kind of overhanging everything, too. It's a really cool vantage point.
You have a screen to look at.
Oh, yeah, I think that's everywhere.
Well, you're pretty close to that, so you're like,
Yeah, as long as you have eyes that are decent, I guess. They have huge fucking screens. You can see.
okay. Well, that's what I didn't know. If you had your own personal screens or something, you know.
Well,
you,
I mean,
you,
we
you
all
went to
know
the
what
big
happened.
one.
The Chiefs got down 17, and then they
Yeah.
had the fucking roughing the passer. I was at the game
What-
right before the Chiefs set the record for loudest, like by the Guinness Book World Records.
There was a
Loudest
roughing
stadium
the
in the world.
passer. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's like the whole lead up
Yeah.
to the game was like. What
I don't
happened
think I
at that
saw
moment.
that.
Chris Jones landed on their quarterback. And
Well, yeah,
Mahomes.
the stupid part
it
was,
was
though,
it was
he
just
ripped
a
the
normal
ball out of his
sack.
hands.
Oh yeah, and
So he wasn't
recovered
even a
fumble,
passer
too.
anymore. He didn't have the ball, and like Chris Jones even tries to like brace himself with his arm. He's like, "Dude, I'm 340 fucking pounds." Like, what do
But
you want me to do?
because he landed on the quarterback with all his weight,
Yeah.
that's the rule.
Well,
And I'm
that's
using
the
air
rules
quotes
now.
for the people that aren't watching us.
That's
because
the
there's no
rules
camera.
now,
Yeah.
right? Those weren't the rules before. You know, obviously.
No, they've
like-
had that for. a few
It's
years or
probably
Well, that's what I'm saying,
Probably
but,
about
like-
a decade, if not pretty close to. It's been that type of. Well, I wouldn't even say maybe
5,
that long. Yeah,
maybe.
maybe 5 years. Yeah, but yeah, that's been the the.
I
change
think
to
it's
the
a
rule,
fair
so.
enough rule. Protect your quarterback.
Yeah,
you know?
overall, yeah, but at the same time, I think it should. I think this instance and then the other one with
They don't take it in the context of what
There
what's
was
happening
another
with the
one
player.
too. Remember the one on Sunday? Because your game was Monday night, right?
With Brady.
But then there was the one with
Brady
Brady,
Jarrett.
where it was damn near like
Same tackle that happened on Mahomes in the Monday night game. Like
Yeah.
just kind of guy came in, quarterback's trying to spin out of it, and
He's
you
just-
know the guy's hanging on, and
he's
he just kind of
falling
gets
down,
whipped a little bit,
he's
but not
falling
bad.
down and just turning him. He wasn't like trying to forcibly
Flick
slam
Yeah,
him
he
into
grabbed the
ground.
guy. You know, if,
He's just
unless you want
grabbing
the
him and
quarterback
bringing
to
him
let a
down
guy
with his
just
body
tackle him.
weight. Like
As I always feel like
There's no perfect tackle.
Yeah,
as
so-
long as you're not trying to WWE someone,
Yeah,
it's a
and this-
legal tackle. You
which
know,
you can noticeably do that because you'll see the human body then like brace, pick up, and go.
It's like
This
I'm going to
was just-
show off all of a sudden.
Yeah,
you
this
know?
was just a fluid. I got you. Boom. Done.
Let's roll together. You
Wait,
know,
so,
Yeah.
so you're telling me in Waterboy when he does the power bomb, courtesy of Captain Insano, that was not a legal move?
in
No.
in 2022, no.
not at all.
What is happening with sports?
Yeah.
I don't even think
Courtesy
it
of
was really
Captain
legal
Insano.
back then.
Well, when that penalty happened and they called it, like what happened in the
Wow.
stadium
the
was.
boos were loud as fuck on TV.
So,
man.
like I was saying, I was at the game before the official Guinness record was set. Unofficially, the game I was at by the Fields, whatever sound picker upper,
I beat it.
whatever you guys. I'm sure you're all in fucking audio.
SPL meter.
Decimeter.
it was picking up decibels.
Decibel.
Yeah.
Decimeter.
No, a decimeter is
We hit something like, I can't remember what the record is exactly, but it was like 144.2,
sound pressure
I think,
level.
is what the
it's probably
official
pressure.
record is.
Yeah.
And I think we hit like 144.4, something in that ballpark.
I remember when Oregon had that title for like 6 weeks, and Kansas City was like, "Go fuck yourself."
Absolutely.
And then like,
That's awesome. What,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oregon or
yeah,
you mean
Oregon.
Seattle?
Or maybe it was Seattle. Yeah, it was Seattle.
Seattle,
Thank
I know,
you.
had
it
something-
was
When you said
Seattle.
Oregon, I was like, the college team?
Yeah,
Like,
sorry,
they can't
no,
be that
it was
loud.
it was Seattle. You're
Okay,
right,
okay.
my bad.
Yeah,
Seattle
fuck
had
Seattle.
Seattle had the record for like 6 weeks, maybe 5,
So-
and Kansas City was like, "Wait till we have a big game." And
What
then
I've
they went
always
and
wondered, can
did it that year.
stadiums, like, acoustically, fucking make that shit louder where, like, it can, like, ring and shit,
Washington Huskies, like up there in Washington, not to be.
I don't know if they even know what their stadium is.
Dude, it's like so in a lot. It's not like a big stadium by Memorial Stadium standards or Big Ten level standards. Whatever. But
It's Pac-10.
It's Pac-12, but like but it's not big and it's not all encompassing, right? Like there's an open end to where you look out into a bay, right?
Okay.
But
Oh.
how
So you get a little
the
echo.
stands are like the stands are so like imposing over top of the field, and then they have this like weird metal overhang over top.
So
of
it just kind of-
amplifies the sound of that crowd. So it's actually noted as one of the loudest stadiums, and its max capacity is like 50,000.
And that's not fair, because that is just
And then-
acoustics.
Yeah, and then it really is. And so like someone actually came in. I think they renovated it recently, so it's even louder because it has more people with more of that overhang like installed. But yeah, it's that's noted as one of the loud. I don't think it's ever held Kansas City's title, but you know why? But so you guys
I've been
have
all
probably
over
been
every
in-
seat in that place.
Arrowhead is like you're right
a
on
big
top of that
bowl.
motherfucker. You're the person in front of you. You're right on top of him. Your shins are basically right in that
Oh, so it's
person in
super
front
steep?
of you.
I mean-
so it's super steep, and
Okay,
that's
that
why
would-
Kansas City's
that would
is
make
so
sense.
loud
Oh,
because.
here's what it looks like.
Oh.
But that's why Kansas City's. And I'm going to find out in a
I
month
needed a
what
picture of
other
this.
stadiums are like because I'm going to my first 49er game in San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
In pretty much a month from tonight.
Oh, for your birthday.
Yeah, so the day, it's actually a month from yesterday. I'm going to a 49er, not to off tangent.
Oh,
but
no,
going
tell
to
us.
going to my first 49er game before I'm 40.
The first
Yeah.
ever. But
Yeah.
you've been a
I've
huge
never-
49ers fan this
Yeah,
entire time.
Yeah, but
I
if
never
you
went to
wait
see him
another
in
10
Kansas
years-
City when they played in Kansas City
But-
because I just didn't want to watch it in Kansas
But-
City
but if
because
you
I
wait
know their
another-
fans are a certain way. But
If you wait another 10 years, though,
yeah,
when you're 49,
I
that'd
know
be
I
even
might.
sweeter.
I might actually go back when I turn 40.
They'd be shitty probably by then, right?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. How the
when your
pendulum
team's
swings.
good, you got to go and they're good, you know?
That's why I'm going.
like
now.
Derek's riding this high of the
They're really
Chiefs being
good.
great.
I'm gonna be there with my Deebo Samuel jersey, but I'm looking forward to seeing what their stadium's like because I've been to Arrowhead several times. And you're just right on top of the person.
Their
front of
old
you,
stadium was
so.
Candlestick, right?
Correct. So I'll be going to Levi. I never got to go to Candlestick, so that's one like shame of it all.
when did they
Being a-
move or whatever?
It was like
while ago,
late
though.
2000s.
Yeah, because I kind of remember this.
Well,
honestly,
no, I
happening.
mean it was probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago now. So
Okay.
I was
Was
wrong the
Alex
first
Smith?
time. Alex
well?
Smith was, I think, still our coach. We still had Navarro Bowman.
No, I meant like Alex Smith, the
or our
quarterback.
quarterback, not our coach, our quarterback. Yeah, we still had like
Joe
Navarro.
Montana was a quarterback.
Our last home game, Navarro Bowman like ran back a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Like so, that's
Their fucking defense and the Eagles got in our fantasy league, and they're getting me. I probably average 15 points almost a game, maybe more.
So I feel like the
We're so
49ers
good.
had one like Sunday or Monday night game that I caught a little bit of, right?
Yeah,
Maybe?
we played Monday night not too long ago, and we've played Thursday night even the
And
week before
they
that.
lost.
Correct, we
right?
lost to Denver.
Yeah. How's that feel?
Not great, but that was kind of a turning point game.
Are you glad you're not on that? We weren't at that game.
Yeah, because that game and the Bears game were in my top 3 choices.
Oh,
And I'm glad I didn't go to the Bears game either, because if you
Did they-
saw that fucking slop
I don't-
fest,
did they
that was
lose
our
that
that
one?
was our other L. So we lost against Chicago game
that's
week
pretty
1.
sad.
Yeah, but it was raining its ass off like the whole game, and you know how everyone knows Soldier Field's field conditions.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are always
Yeah.
sub fucking par, like always.
Well, that's kind of like what
so
they do. Like,
you
they're,
add
they're
like
mutters, you know.
torrential rainfall that's happened all day, and 22 people just going and hitting each other for 90 minutes.
Some,
like
some
it's-
classic football. I would kind of
It was
upset I
it was
missed
a
that
slop
one
fest.
now.
It was Trey. It was Trey. Trey
That's
Lance's
what I
first
like. Those are
game.
like the NFL games that I like watching.
So
that
like-
what is your
6-4.
So what is your connection with 49ers then? Kansas
So-
City's easy because it's right there.
Sure. So back in the late 80s, Roger Craig and Tom Rathman were in their backfield. And if you're not aware, they are legendary Huskers.
Oh, okay.
Roger Craig, he actually followed Mike Rozier. You know who Mike Rozier is, right?
I have very recently been interested in football. Right when Frost started.
Because I
which
was
is
like
insane.
really blown away for a second. So that makes sense. Yeah. So
So-
Mike Rozier is one of our Heisman winners.
Oh,
He
okay.
won.
One
he
of
won
the
back in
few.
the early 80s.
Okay.
So we haven't talked about the whole
Husker
debacle yet.
stuff. Yeah. Is that? I figured that would be a topic we could trash talk tonight.
Debacle.
Frost.
Oh.
Oh.
Well,
Honestly, it was like
we
over
covered-
a month ago now, and it's kind of like it seems
As
so
things
long
as
ago.
things and as news
Two
is settled
wins
in.
ago.
Two
wins
That's
ago.
my timeline.
Two
two
wins ago.
fortnights.
2 fortnight. Yeah, that's
you.
funny.
I like that metric.
What is two wins?
Since
Wins.
they fired Frost, they've been
Two
Yeah.
victories.
2-1.
Two wins.
Well, yeah, two
I like
wins.
to say, like wins, like the blowing on the wind.
No wins. So
Yeah.
2 victories.
Yeah, and I think they're
What the
wins
fuck?
that Frost wouldn't have gotten. You know,
Because
this-
of
like, I
because of
cannot
overall,
imagine.
like, because he's the one that signs off, quote unquote. I'm using air quotes again. It's bad radio, but he's the one calling the shots on certain things. Like, and you wonder like
onsides.
how many times. And I don't put a lot of stock in that as many people do, because I'm like I've seen people like Urban Meyer and other coaches like Chip Kelly. They've done that shit too, and it's either tried or failed, and they still go out and win the game. Overall,
Exactly.
you kick that thing and it doesn't work and you still go win the game. No one's fucking talking about that. I don't think that was why we lost. We lost because our defense was like, and you saw it week after week after that. The defense couldn't stop fucking, drain pipe.
It's
They
been
couldn't
terrible.
tackle. I see them body up, dude, 2 or 3 times on the same run before the line of scrimmage.
Those
that they would still
safeties,
break
yeah.
through because they weren't fucking rapping.
Those
attacking.
safeties were taking terrible run fits. The linebackers couldn't get lined up right, and they were just letting shit loose. We're playing dudes that should be in a 4-3, in a 3-4, and it's just
Okay,
it was
we are
not
officially
working.
too technical. I have no fucking clue what you're talking
It's
about.
your front 7.
so I'm talking-
3 down linemen,
So-
4 linebackers,
It's just
3-4.
I always see
I
the
have no- I
defense
think we're
like
getting-
still trying to communicate every snap. They're like still
They
talking
had
to
too
each
many.
other.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
had all these
They're-
checks they had to like run through. Like Chenander had them like plan A, plan B, plan C, and so you're like, see this, do this. If you see this though, do this. If you see this, do this. And they're sitting there trying to like run it, for the first time. You have brand new safeties in the backfield,
That's too
damn
much.
near a whole new backfield because you lose 2
We lost-
safeties
we lost a
that were
lot
6-year
on defense
seniors, and then
last
you
year.
lose Cam Taylor-Britt. The only one you get back is Newsome, and Newsome's been hurt the last 2 weeks. And then, a new guy, Tommy Hill, that was supposedly an NFL talent. Dude's talented, but he's not very good at covering.
Yeah,
apparently.
I mean Nelson's been tearing it up this year.
He looks better with his hand in the ground, man.
Yeah,
And they
You're
ran a
probably
4-3.
right.
They ran a 4-3 against Rutgers all game. Like,
okay. I didn't watch
certainly
this game. So
wholesale change defensively, right? So you knew with the new defensive coordinator they were going to change some things. First thing I noticed is that they were in a 4-3 all game. Garrett Nelson had his hands in the dirt all game, and he was creating havoc. He was crazy. Both defensive tackles, Feast and Ty Robinson, they were able to control guys on the inside for once because neither of them are the like anchor type that you would need for a 3-4. Like that's why Wisconsin's defenses are always great as a 3-4. It's because they'll have a 320-pound moose in the middle that'll just eat 2 people with ease
Push
at
them
all
back or
times.
whatever, you know?
And we don't have a guy to do that yet. We're still going to call that scheme because that's our scheme. It's like that's why they're fired. It's 'cause
I
they're
never
not good at
understood
recognizing-
how we stopped like recruiting that. Like we used to recruit Sue and people like that
Wow.
back in the day, you know?
He was like a 3-star recruiter.
Yeah, he was
2-star.
only a 3-star recruit.
But he was
at high
just still
school,
a
but he was
fucking
still really
huge
talented.
monster, He
He
fucking
turned into
tore,
one,
He
yeah.
tore it up,
Yeah,
Just like
but
you
he
see-
wasn't a 320. He wasn't like Vita Vea or.
I know,
or
but you can see the
but-
potential in someone or whatever. Or you just like work someone that like wants to fucking have that fight or whatever in there.
Yeah.
So,
And speaking of fight, that would be great if we saw some from the offensive line.
yeah. I think that's the worst part. Like, I like Thompson. He does what
I
he can.
dig him way more than Adrian. Yeah, he
I
doesn't
mean-
run as much and get the garbage first downs, which is neat.
He holds it a little too
but
long.
yeah, he can, and some of that is because of play calling. Like he's got
You
routes.
can throw it away. You can throw it away.
He's
though,
got probably, but he's waiting for like routes that he knows Trey's gonna break open at some point.
He hasn't given
And-
up. That's the one thing I can say about
And
him.
his
He's like-
offensive line's gonna get him killed. And as long as they sit Bryce Benhart, that number 54, I think
No,
he'll be
whatever.
okay.
He's sitting in there. He's taking it. He's willing to fight. That's all I can say.
Yeah. He's tough. And
what I've
Adrian
seen.
was tough too. He broke his jaw and still played, with a broken jaw all season. But
I saw a
That can't be
stat
comfortable.
that he's on par to be the top 10 college football players of all time.
Who?
His stats. Adrian Martinez.
Oh, yeah.
his stats, sure.
Just because he's his 6th year or whatever.
But he's the only thing he's done at K-State is run the ball. I mean, he had one game against
Well, that's the thing. That's how you get
Oklahoma
those
where he
stats.
actually had a really good passing day too. But overall, he has passed garbage outside of one game, and
Do you think
he's done shit with his legs.
Do you think he could have beaten Oklahoma at Nebraska?
No.
This year after Scott getting fired, I don't think we're no.
Say he didn't leave and we still had Scott.
If we still had Adrian, I think we would have beaten Northwestern just for those garbage first downs.
You're probably right about that.
That's
but I'm
about
talking
the
about
only-
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I
I don't
don't-
think Adrian could beat Oklahoma with Scott Frost.
I don't think we.
At
I
this
think
point.
we wouldn't have lost 41-10. We probably would have lost 42-39
Yeah, you might be right about that.
because Adrian.
At
would've-
least
Adrian,
closer.
That's the biggest difference I think between Casey and Adrian is Adrian's not shy about going out and getting yards with his legs. Casey, for all Casey's effort is into it's really just I'm gonna throw it down the field. I'm not trying to turn myself into Michael Vick or Vince Young. And
I just
go
don't think he's
down the
fast.
field.
I don't think he's fast.
He's
at all.
fast, but I don't. He's just not about that. He's fast enough to get first downs. He's an athletic cat, but no, he's not Adrian Martinez fast. But there's been a lot of opportunities if he'd have just tucked it and went forward for 5 yards. Drives continue, but he's really sitting in the pocket trying to be that. I'm gonna throw it downfield guy, and I'm gonna make that tight window throw, or I'm gonna.
I mean, he's
throw him
done
open,
some good
and
ones too.
There's
he's
been
done
great.
some
You
good
know what?
plays.
I've saw a lot of even this season with Adrian Martinez. I watch a lot of K-State games too.
I watched
He has
one.
missed a lot of downfield throws, and Casey is landing every goddamn one. It seems everything that's downfield, he's hitting guys in stride.
I've seen some drops.
drops, yes,
Yeah, that's
but
not a quarterback's fault.
he is hitting. I mean that fucking
Okay.
Northwestern game, there were 6 drops that were either first downs or touchdowns.
Yeah.
There were drops, but I mean he's dropping dimes. He's really accurate, except for he's the only time he's kind of not accurate is those 8-yard in and out routes. He seems to be always back shouldering people when they're running away from him.
Okay, yeah.
Outside of that,
So
man,
he's just a
he's
junior
wide.
though, right?
Yeah. Outside of that, he's really accurate.
You think Adrian gets drafted?
At best, someone takes a flyer in the 7th, but no.
Really? I bet he does.
What-
Well,
what
I
year
don't.
is
I
he
guess
right now?
I don't
Maybe
know.
not
What,
not
I
as
don't know what
quarterback.
NFL teams need.
If
a
he
quarterback.
comes out like he's Cordell Patterson and starts running the ball,
I bet he
maybe.
fucking has a really good combine.
Of course, he's
What
athletic
year
as
is
fuck.
he right now?
He's
This
a
is his
super
year.
senior.
5th year senior.
Oh, yeah, he ain't getting drafted.
You don't think so?
Too old. Look at him.
Too
He's
old.
just Too
And he's-
old.
and
Well, here's the thing. What NFL teams need a quarterback though that would draft him?
Yeah, but
Most of
let
them.
me ask you something. What's
Who else is going this year too?
What's
I
his
don't know
football IQ like?
that. Ooh, I mean,
If you listen to him talk and you listen to Casey Thompson's talk, what's your takeaway?
I think a lot of coaches would look at him as he sucked under Frost because Frost got fired. He sucked as a coach. They all talk. They know that. This kid tore it up at Kansas now.
But he had
Like,
horrible fumble opportunity. He had
Oh, yeah,
horrible
yeah.
fumbles. He
But
had
still-
horrible throws into like.
he's
really,
going to go to the NFL. I know he is.
not as a quarterback.
He might get a free agent deal.
I bet
maybe.
he gets a free agent deal. Like ultimately, like that's what I'm saying. Like
Plays backup
someone either
somewhere.
takes a flyer on him in the 7th round, or they sign him UFDA, undrafted
that?
or UDFA, undrafted free agent.
Oh, okay.
I think he goes the UDFA route, and
You can sign with any team you want.
I think
man.
he basically may end
As long
up
as they want
turning.
you.
He's either going to turn into a wide receiver, or he's not in the NFL. He'd be a really good arena league.
I bet he
quarterback.
like can't catch a ball.
I think
That's why he's not a wide receiver.
I
now.
bet he goes to the Arena League Football League
Oh
at some
yeah,
point.
or Canadian
or
whatever.
Canada.
Yeah.
He could actually do okay in Canada, maybe. I don't know. To be fair,
To tell
there's
you the
better
truth,
quarterbacks.
They
I
have
like-
wider hash marks
I
in
like
Canada,
Adrian
don't they?
way more
Sure.
than I ever liked Tate.
That's what they have in college compared to the NFL.
and only 3 downs.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, you have it's 1, 2, and then you better get it this one, or
Would he make it in that league then?
that's why I was kind of
Oh, he's an athlete. He's an athlete.
He is
Seems
an
like
athlete.
anytime he had a chance to do something to really give us a lead or do or die situation,
Michigan.
it didn't happen a lot.
But at this point, wouldn't you say
Colorado,
it was also
twice.
coaching? He was never really like shown the proper way, or he was not.
No, because I think some of that's
He
in
didn't progress.
He did a little bit, but I think a lot of that's like
Yeah,
in here.
he's just growing old.
It's in here, bro.
I think it's like that. A lot of that's just inside him.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was either Adrian or Scott this year, and Adrian is fucking winning, in my opinion.
He to be fair, he's
I was
got a better
I was blaming
offensive
him
line.
a lot.
He has a better offensive line where he's at now.
Well, it's also easier competition.
No, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. Outside of the Oklahoma game, which he surely shined in that one.
Well, but like it was literally a week after
But,
we did, you
yeah.
know.
But
So
that's what I'm saying. Their offensive line, one, they're pretty old. Ours isn't. We've had the same 3 guys playing,
see, I
and
didn't
they
know that.
started as freshmen. Like we
yeah,
were starting.
I know we
freshmen
have a
3
young
years ago.
offensive
We've
line,
always had
which
it.
is like why?
That's
Why?
one of the reasons Scott lost his job. Is that the offensive line never got old. That's what, in my opinion, was the biggest downfall of Nebraska during his tenure. Is the offensive line was never able to get old. Guys that were old left early. Brendan Hymus,
See the one that left last year?
2 years ago. I think after he could have stayed for his senior year after Scott's first year, and he's like, nah, these coaches ain't for me, and went to the NFL, and he's actually playing. Matt Farniok did the same thing too, gone. Like we had a chance to be old in there by those guys staying into their senior years, and they didn't. And Cam Jurgens is in that realm too.
I
Can you
don't
imagine
blame
how
him.
this offense looks if we still have Cam Jurgens at center?
Yeah, he's just tearing it up now.
He's already getting playing time in the NFL.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Like that's been the biggest thing I think offensively. Why it never took off is that offensive line was never able to get old.
Or
Guys have played
the
for a
other
long
rumor is
time, but
that
those guys
Frost
that
is
have-
drunk.
Well, yeah, I mean Frost.
That
is a drunk,
too.
too.
That
I
doesn't
think That's a
help.
lot to it. You make bad decisions when you're
Well,
always
you think
tanked.
Tom Osborne drank a little bit?
Yeah,
A little
not
bit.
like Barry Switzer did.
But he went out and got some fucking California love and thugs
and
and kicked some fucking ass.
he gave the players steroids and cocaine and shit. So yeah.
I have not heard that.
That's why I don't think we do much better, even with a different coaching staff, is because I think we just need an
No, we
overhaul.
have the
in
commits
offensive
though
line.
too.
We just need an overhaul on that offensive line.
The
group,
offensive
dude.
line is the weakest link, obviously.
Yeah, because the guys that are starting ain't cutting it. Like,
So-
and those dudes should have had 3 years to basically sit behind someone and learn. You know, a redshirt
Oh, yeah,
season, then your then your redshirt
Here-
freshman.
here's also the
sophomore
big thing:
year.
is we don't even have any walk-ons, you know, that are in the offensive line.
Well, of course
There's
not,
still some big
because-
fucking Husker or
Dude.
Nebraska boys, you know.
That's a
that could be on that
position.
team.
That's a position you can't just insert and go. Typically, that's why it's hard. That's why no one ever hardly does it. Is because it's that difficult to do. To just be you to come in.
There's
with
no
the right
glory
weight.
in offensive line, you know.
Yeah, you have to have the right weight, the right strength, the right technique, and the right mindset. And oftentimes freshmen come in smaller, not as strong, and maybe more
How
timid
could a
because
freshman compete with these fucking defensive tackles?
that's what I'm saying. They need time in the weight room. They need to get beat up a couple times, and practice every day. You know what I mean? And really take those lumps under the radar, not in front of 90,000 people going, "That guy fucking sucks. I can't believe we recruited him." Dude's never got a chance to grow up and do his thing. And this is kind of like an excuse for Benhart, I think, the most. But to be fair, you either figure it out or you don't. And Corcoran's kind of started to figure it out, for the most part. He was the other guy that was really bad last season, too.
What position do all those guys play?
Benhart's the right tackle. And then you have the Corcoran I mentioned. He started last year every game at tackle, and it's not his position. So they moved him into guard, and he actually looked pretty good for the most part. But these guys, they got to get mean. The offensive line's not going to do anything until they get fucking mean and just start like junkyard dogging.
Well, here's
people.
the thing. So we won 2 in a row. So predictions for
Do you
tomorrow.
think Tom Osborne still has steroids for them?
No.
Let's call him back.
Tom is on his own.
Boyd
steroids.
Epley's still there, right? So
What are your predictions for tomorrow? Which will be like a couple of days in the past.
I think we lose by 9.
You think we're going to lose this game?
I don't think I don't think Purdue covers.
Who is it? Northwestern?
No, Purdue. We
Purdue.
lost to Northwestern.
I don't think Purdue covers.
So we lose
ranked
by
right
7 or something.
No, but they're favored 14 the last time I saw them.
I feel like I think it's
huge
14.
cover.
Purdue's looking pretty solid this year, but I feel like this team is willing to play for Mickey. You saw that when he got the first win ball or whatever, and the team just like cheered, started jumping for him and shit. The team loves this coach. And I think they're willing to fight for it. I think Casey has a phenomenal fucking game, and we win like fucking 49-35 or something.
If Nebraska by some miracle wins,
not a miracle.
Is it Minnesota loses and Northwestern? Then they're in sole place of first in their conference or whatever.
I think there's
Division
a
within the conference?
3-way tie right now. So I suppose if Minnesota and Nebraska won tomorrow, they'd both be in a second place tie for first or whatever, which I wouldn't be surprised if then it's like 2 weeks away we play Minnesota. I can't remember the exact schedule, but it's steadily heavier from here on out. It's like Indiana, Minnesota,
Nebraska's overall
Wisconsin,
record? Is it 2-4?
Michigan.
I think 3-3.
3-3.
We're 3-3 right now, yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll beat Iowa, I think.
That's
we can
one
score
I
touchdowns.
think. That's one I think we can eke out because their offense isn't going to be able to do anything against us. I think Whipple can draft up something on their defense. As long as their defense doesn't pick up a turnover and score. Like if they get a turnover, fine, dandy, whatever. They probably will.
I'm sure they will.
Don't go fucking score.
Casey's turned it over pretty much every game, right?
Dude, Iowa goes and gets turnovers and then puts them on the scoreboard.
No,
like,
they
pretty
can't.
much right away.
Well, kick the field goals now at this point.
So hopefully we can, keep them to field goals, and if they turn the ball over, we don't let them score. But yeah, we have Minnesota, Purdue, Michigan, or Meat Chicken,
Indiana.
We already played Indiana.
Chicken?
Illinois,
Yeah,
then
meat
we
chicken.
play.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought, right?
We already played Indiana. We have Illinois though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Illinois. It's Purdue, Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan, Iowa.
Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, and Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yeah. Which we could beat them too yet. Who knows, man? This whole season is like up in the air.
If Nebraska can beat Purdue, I would agree to being able to say that maybe they're turning a corner. But that would only be me
Purdue's
thinking
good.
about
if they
that.
beat Purdue,
Their offense flies, man.
If they
don't run the
beat
ball.
Purdue, do we keep Mickey?
What?
If they beat Purdue this weekend, tomorrow, do we keep Mickey?
No.
Ooh,
Well, I
Mickey,
don't
you
think
so
it's
fine,
the. I
you
don't
so
know.
fine, you blow my
I don't want
mind.
to say
Hey,
no because I think the decision is still open. After that, and I
I
firmly
keep hearing all the rumors, although I feel like I've been reading less and less about it.
I feel like there's
Kansas
nothing
guys
good
that did.
though. There's nothing like solid,
Leopold, is that his name?
Yeah, Lance Leopold. Well, apparently today, Matt Rule has stated that he's not interested in the Nebraska job. Matt Rule just got fired at Carolina. He did really good things at Temple and Baylor. It was certainly an option. I mean, he definitely one to place a phone call and see if he would be, but if he's not, it's whatever.
Keep a connection out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everyone still wants Lance Leopold, man.
You think that's where we're going right now? You think that's what the fan base wants, the alumni and shit?
I don't know. What's his name at K-State comes to mind too.
Adrian Martinez. He's graduating this year. He's looking for a job.
People like Dave Aranda.
Campbell or whatever.
Dave Aranda, though, got beat by West Virginia. He's never been able to beat West Virginia. Matt Campbell is having a down year, so now people are starting to thumbs down Matt Campbell. But I think Matt Campbell's having a down year because he's had to rotate a lot of new starters in. So I think, and they're still like top 10 defense wise. Like they're still a good football team. They're just not, they're just not banging on the door for a championship this year. But that team will be old next year and the year after that, and that's what I think. That's where I think Matt, if he stays where he's at now, Iowa State's going to be really good in a couple of years, probably.
Probably. And
that's something Nebraska could have. But they're interested in right now tactics, which obviously worked with Scott Frost.
I saw a stat that said Tennessee hired their former Heisman winner alumni or whatever, and they're like now,
He's from Oklahoma.
I thought he played for Tennessee or something.
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
But
he's a former quarterback, Josh Heupel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won a natty and a Heisman Trophy at Oklahoma.
Yeah, and they're like now kind of national contenders possibly if they fucking beat Alabama tomorrow or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hendon Hooker's the truth, man.
Fuck off.
What team is that?
Tennessee.
I saw something. They were in the top 10, I think, and I was just like,
they're the number one. They're the number one scoring offense in the nation.
It's like the first time that's happened in a long time.
What, Manning?
Yeah,
I think
or even
Manning?
the guy that followed Manning, not T. Higgins, but T. Martin.
Oh yeah,
they won a natty with T. Martin the next year after Nebraska.
They won a national championship after Peyton.
After Nebraska, yeah, after we beat the brakes off of Peyton, T. Martin came in the next year and won a natty with him.
That's right.
That was Phil. That was the peak of the Philip Fulmer era.
I don't know who you go with. There's no one like outstanding,
Yeah.
Either way, we'll give him another 5 years.
I think right now Mickey's definitely in that top 3. Like he's even.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Even if we lose, it depends on how we look, man. Because optics are a lot of it. Like
if
Bo Pelini won, and people still were pissed because of optics. How it looked bad. Like they had to eke out that win and blah blah blah. It looked terrible. And it's
I don't know,
dude.
though.
A win's a motherfucking win. Because guess what? When good feelings are gone and shit's not good. Bad L's are L's too. It doesn't matter how good they look. You still lost. And we learned that with Scott Frost. It doesn't matter how good those L's looked. There were a lot of the Michigan game, the Michigan State game,
They were all winnable though. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Like close.
Yeah. We found out that guess what? It didn't matter if it looked like hot garbage all game. They finished and won the game. Bo Pelini, for all of his warts, he got that team to sometimes will themselves to a game that they were almost.
They were
losing.
Fighters. They were ready to win.
Now, when they played folks like Ohio State and other ranked teams, did they get blown out? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's why I love that video of Mickey cheering with the team after that first win.
Yeah, that was really cool.
When Trev hands him the football,
You can tell Trev is really into that deal too.
And it's optics too. It's like propaganda, if you want to say.
It's big on optics. Yeah.
Well, but it's like
that's what I'm saying about the Purdue game.
It was planned, a social, TikTok or whatever. But just to see the team like go along with that, they weren't just cheering because the athletic director told them to cheer. They were cheering because they fucking love Mickey and they're willing to fight for him. And that's why they won last week too. So.
They were in good shape. They didn't have any sort of like
even if he does
mindset.
Lose out, if the players have bought in, that to me right there is your fucking coach, because
the end game management too hasn't been like as awful. Like remember, like when we got the ball back against Rutgers, like. It was fucking refreshing watching us get the ball back. We had a big stop after we scored 14. We got to 14 points. They get the ball back, fucking stopped them. Like that offense could have just like what Scott kind of used to do. He'd be aggressive and try to go down and score. Fucking Mickey pumped the brakes. He was like, "All right, I want you to call a bunch of run plays. and some like underneath passing routes here just to get some positive yardage. We're going to get a couple first downs. We're going to bleed this clock. That's exactly what fucking happened.
Yeah. Football smarts, you know?
Yep.
Play football.
You bled the
now.
goddamn clock, and you got out of there with a W. You didn't go try it down to score one more time and fumble it because you made your quarterback do a five-step drop back again, you know, when your offensive line can't fucking block a paper sack.
I drink to that too.
I would drink to that.
And we haven't even seen a good defense yet this year. That's the sad part.
Outside of this Rutgers game, except for the start, I mean, they really turned it on.
I'm going to sip this a little bit. So you really think Purdue's going to win tomorrow?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
But I think it'll be really close.
I'm going to talk some trash. Fuck
kind
you.
of
They're going to win, dude.
I
Have
know.
some fucking faith. Will it into existence.
That would be neat.
If you believe it, they will
I've been
come,
trying to
you
will
know?
into existence $1 million for a very long fucking time.
Derek,
it ain't happening.
Derek, how long did you keep faith while the Chiefs sucked dick
That is
during the
really
early
good, by the
90s
way.
and 2000s?
Thank you.
Well, okay.
Because when I first met you, you were a Chiefs fan and you were into the Chiefs, and they sucked. Right?
Dude, I've been loving the Chiefs since I was basically born.
And they sucked when they had Alex Smith as their quarterback.
That didn't suck. They went to the playoffs every year but one.
Yeah, but they fucking choked. First round or second round, they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, they would not win
So
any
dry.
fucking playoff games
Wicked
ever.
absorbent.
They didn't win another playoff game until Alex Smith, I think, beat the Texans. I think it was the first playoff victory they ever had
You blame that
since
on,
like the 90s.
so you credit that to
Andy
Reid.
Reid is what did it.
yeah.
And then you got Patrick Mahomes, and now we're like, not only are you a good team to make the playoffs every year, maybe contend for a Super Bowl, now you got one of the best quarterbacks. So now you expect to be contending for a Super Bowl.
Which they will, right?
Yeah, they do every year. They win an AFC Championship every year that
So
Mahomes
let's
is
talk
starting.
about predictions. Big game at 3:30 this weekend.
Yeah, and I got volleyball, so I'm going to miss like the fourth quarter basically.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think I can stream it on my phone.
Guaranteed it goes down to the fourth quarter.
It's
not
gonna be a
overtime.
crazy game, man. Like the Chiefs they have rookies starting all over the secondary.
Can you tell me the history of the Chiefs and the
My
Bills?
throat's still sore from Monday night.
What
I
is,
bet.
like, but with Josh Allen and Mahomes now,
Dude,
like,
this is going to be such a good game.
did they like?
I hope.
They're like only 2-2 or
Chiefs are
2-1,
missing a ton of their defense,
Bills have too, so.
right?
Yeah.
They've only played a few times,
but the
right?
Bills also have a better receiving core. But we got a way better
Yeah.
tight end.
Yeah.
You think they'll win?
The Chiefs, Vegas has them at underdogs. It's the first time in Mahomes' career
Really?
Yeah.
that he is the underdog
At home.
At home.
The home
First
dog.
time.
And Mahomes, he listens to
Mahome
everything.
dog?
And Mahomes gets pissed. And when Mahomes gets pissed, he goes like super fire laser dragon.
God, I
mode.
hope someone's copyrighted that.
There's going to be
I'm a
so many
home dog.
scores.
I hope.
I think.
We'll see.
Do you think he'll go crazy?
I think so because
Oh, you think Josh Allen's gonna show off though too?
Both defenses.
I fucking love
both
Josh
defenses
Allen.
have experienced a lot of
The Chiefs'
attrition
defense
and
hasn't
injury.
been bad.
No, you guys get to the ball, but I feel like
flop.
I don't know
I feel
that
like
you guys
they're bad
can.
long balls.
can
They have a lot of very
they-
young guys.
He's right. But they also you mentioned it earlier. Bills have a ton of weapons at wide receiver.
Do they?
They have a ton, and it's going to be really
Ooh.
hard. And you guys lost Shavarius Ward to us, who's turned us into the #1 defense, hands down. That
He
guy,
was solid for us for
dude,
a
that
long
guy,
time.
that guy is a fucking godsend. Because I was worried about cornerback until this season, and he's been the
Yeah,
godsend.
dude, he's
But
very solid.
why I think it just is a scoring explosion is because the Bills have had like several defensive backs go down with injury or just people in the defense.
They got two rookies starting too.
Yeah, and
Oh.
then you know the weapons that Kansas City has outside of just
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, and then the Bills just are like absolutely fucking loaded.
Allen's
Their
fucking
running
on
back gets
fire.
the
The
tough
Chiefs
yards
secondary,
that
the
need-
rookies
that
that are
need it.
starting this week, have made plays throughout the year.
Sure, they totally have
But this will be
the biggest test.
yeah, I mean, they
'Cause
played
Gabe
the Bucks,
Davis is-
but like I don't know. I
That-
don't know about the Bucks.
Dude,
Well, do
even-
they play later in the season too?
Who?
The Bills and the Chiefs.
No,
Maybe
just
in the playoffs.
if-
Oh,
in
those
the
will
play-
only be in the
they'll
playoffs
be in the
or
playoffs
whatever?
again.
I
Like
thought they're in the
think this
same
is match one of
league
two.
or whatever.
I'm calling my shot now. You guys will play these guys again in the playoffs.
Oh yeah. Well, I thought
Hands
you guys
down.
were in the regular season played in the same.
It's not really a
NFC
shocker,
or whatever.
They're not in the same division.
They're not in the same division.
Oh, they're not.
No, the Bills play the Dolphins, Patriots, and Jets.
Twice.
Okay.
They're in the same division, and then
I don't know the
they play
divisions
the
Raiders,
Chargers,
Broncos,
Raiders,
Chargers.
Broncos twice.
That's
Right,
all that's in your
exact
division.
Don't we play you guys this year again? No, we don't. That's why I'm not going to Kansas City. That's right. Or do you guys go to San Francisco? Because I mean,
If
we play
you're
the
going-
Chargers. The game
I feel like we don't, but I don't
the
know
game
for
I'm
sure.
going to is we're playing the Chargers on Sunday night.
Huh.
Ooh. Very
Sunday
good,
night
man.
game. In
You know,
San Francisco.
Same day he
Yeah.
just
The
did.
Broncos played Seattle.
Monday.
I bet you it's are they NFC West?
Yeah, we're NFC West. Yeah,
So maybe we're playing the NFC West this year.
I think so, and we have for the last couple of years
Because
because
we
we played you down.
Broncos
in
played
Kansas
Seattle
City.
already.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah. So I'm wondering if we guys play, if you and I.
We might.
Yeah.
Have we played fantasy football? Oh yeah, we did.
You don't know
Yeah,
your
you beat the
schedule.
fucking
You don't know the
you-
Chiefs' schedule.
You
for
beat
sure.
the brakes off of me, that's for sure.
You don't know the
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I'm not having a good year fantasy wise in all three of my leagues. It is not great.
I have a losing record, but if I win this
I've
week,
had-
Page has been the worst one this year so far.
Dude, I've had so many so many people go down with injury, like I just can't stay afloat. It reminds me a
I've
couple
been
years
lucky
ago.
with that so far.
Are we-
Actually, right after I made some trades, everybody I traded got injured, and then
Are we talking
the guys I
fantasy?
got back are
We're talking fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy.
they're not
football.
injured.
Are we halfway through NFL season? 'Cause
Not
we're about
yet,
halfway
no.
through college.
We're halfway through college. This is week 6, yeah, and then or week 7. We are no, it is week 6. Fuck. Anyway, but no, I think we're only 4 or 5 weeks into NFL season, and there's
Okay.
18 weeks.
Yeah, it expanded recently or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
So we've got a
we
few.
got a lot more NFL to go.
Yeah.
What do you think about the 12 college football expansion?
I think it's too much.
There's a
in my
little
opinion.
bit too much.
I am an 8 guy. Like I think 8 was the
I think-
shining number
I
because
think
I don't think there's
top
16.
10 sounds nice though.
I don't think there's I don't think there's 16 teams that should are good enough to vie for a national title.
And that's the thing
I think
too.
at most you get 8. 6 I think is too short because at some point you're gonna experience. There's some teams that are also really good and could do something.
That's why I think a top 10
8
sounds perfect. You know,
10
give
would
these
work
two
too,
teams
but-
the 2 teams extra. You know, that just like gotta play in or whatever. You know.
I thought 4 was like too small.
Because
I was
you
like,
get
no,
too many
because now
games.
you're pissing people off because they're gonna go, no, we want more. It was like basically a ploy saying we're gonna give you it, but we're not gonna give it to you all
I would
the
have
way.
been happy with 8.
You're
I would-
basically like tipping a girl, right? You're just putting the tip in. Like there's more, but I'm just gonna give you this little bit. to
I would have
start.
been happy with 8, but I think 10 is the perfect number. Just those 2 extra teams.
I could go with 10.
Because the 11 and 12 teams are going to fucking lose anyway.
You're talking
and that's
about
just an extra game.
undefeated
you
MAC
know,
teams,
for the 5th
like-
and 6th.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, undefeated Sunbelt teams. So you're gonna tell me like James Madison goes like
Why can't that
They
happen?
could.
12-0, and they're like, we should put them in the playoffs. You know, no.
That's conference.
But then you just give like some other fucking, 5th and 6th team an extra game, cause them more injuries.
I feel
and
like
shit, that's
with
like,
the amount of parity in today's game, there's easily 6 teams, right? I think that every year there's easily 6 teams that could punk an Alabama
and a solid
in a good
8,
day.
a
or
solid
a
8.
Georgia. They may not win the game every time, but I feel like there's at least 6 teams in the college
But
football
it's like,
that
fuck
could
it.
win.
Let
Make it
Michigan
8.
play LSU,
Make it 8, so you give a couple snowflakes, some or powder puffs, some like, yeah, we went 12-0 in our league. Let them go get housed, so we're reminded that
Yeah.
that.
Let
know-
fucking BYU in. We'll fucking slaughter you.
Yeah, exactly. You were good, but you weren't that good, and then let it sort out that mess. And then one time, you know what? Maybe that MAC team actually gets a number 4
And-
if you put like 8 against number 4 or something like that.
Whatever. We got 12. We got 12 in a couple years though.
Yeah,
so,
so I
this
just
is
feel
exactly
like-
what's going to happen. We're going
I
to
think
see
it's just
these
diluted.
fucking teams.
No, you're going to see
No.
blowouts in
So
those
there's
first
no-
weeks. I
there's
think.
no-
They gotta
more
be done
top.
well before the fucking NFL draft, so those guys can train for their fucking draft day and combine.
Yeah, I think they're just going to make bowl games.
it's all the
like,
same fucking business.
the Rose Bowl will be semifinals and shit. Like they'll fucking turn it back a little bit or whatever. It'll all work out. It's going to be a great time. I'm excited for it. Because it's actually going to be like a bracket, Here, 12-team college football bracket to fill out, Why not?
It's a lot of football.
It's not, man. Think about it though. Like, you could have
But that's at least
the same
3
thing
more
they do
weeks, right?
with basketball.
You have a play-in game, then you'd have what 12 would be. How many play-in games would you need?
No, you just
Would
do
you
a
need a
solid
play-in game
12.
for 12?
Every team plays fucking 4 times or whatever, you know? So there's a winner.
So no one gets a bye, basically.
No buys.
That's why I think 10
I
is
think
money,
that's the plan.
Because I think
Yeah, that's
10
what I said.
would be fine because what that's 10 is the NFL, is it not?
No, there's like
Because there's
fucking
usually a bye
20
week, right?
or something.
No,
I
the
think-
NFL.
I think there's only one bye week now. You have to be the number 1 seed in your conference to get a bye week.
Okay, gotcha.
And that would make sense. You're the Power 5 conference championship winner. You get a bye, you know?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Sometimes
College
a bye
football's
can
fucking-
suck, but a good, well-coached team won't
No,
bother you.
you take
Yeah,
that
when you're at
fucking
that-
week off.
when you're at
That
that
is
level, yeah,
super
exactly.
helpful.
Like,
A week off.
Yeah, some
is
coaches though aren't
so-
good with those buys. Like
I
they
mean,
might
they're
have
used to
momentum
that shit
going, and then they
when
don't
it
know how
wa-
to keep it.
No, they have
Yeah,
buys
exactly.
during the week though.
well, and then remember the old bowl season, they'd have like 3-4 weeks before, especially in Nebraska, once we'd play Oklahoma, or when it became the Big 12, we'd do the Big 12 championship
Yeah.
game. Like there was still several weeks before we were playing a national title game or a New Year's Six game or something on New Year's, you know.
Mhm.
So I
Which
mean,
is
there's still a
helpful.
long couple weeks. So now, if you give them a bye week, yeah, it's just a shorter version of that. But
Shit, dude, we're like a month out almost from fucking Thanksgiving. We're
Yeah.
figuring out the bowl
I
situation.
think
here
bowl
real
games
with
fast.
the, with the playoffs
Uh,
like that, do you give them that much of a space then? Because there's still going to be that much of a space, and then they go. Like, do you just like shorten up that time frame?
Honestly, it probably will start right after
because you
regular
don't interfere with the
season.
Super Bowl, then kind of a
Yeah.
deal.
Well, no, I don't even think it can go past what it goes. You know, like
You're talking
It's-
about a
it's the
national
second week of
championship that'll be
January.
like January 11th now.
it's the second week of
know.
January. I feel like the second Monday of January.
It'll be like January 16th. We're talking about a national title game with
Yeah.
with a 12-team playoff, probably.
most likely.
Yeah, and they're using the bowl.
Who do you think
the
it'd be
bowl
right
sites,
now
but-
after this? You know, like seeing 6 weeks of college football.
That's good.
Ohio State and
That's a really good question.
Georgia. Alabama's not looking that good.
Alabama will be in there because they'll figure it out. They always do.
Yeah, but they'll lose. Clemson's not going
I
to be.
don't
Clemson-
know. I think we're gonna
Clemson's
see
up
a
there?
slip of Alabama. I heard they're having a hard time getting INT to whatever NIT people. The people making decent money, like they're
Oh,
not making
NILs.
Alabama.
And
I don't know when the game is. Michigan and Ohio State play, but there's a chance that
December.
both teams. It's in.
Well, no, it'll be at the end of November. Yeah.
Yeah, both teams. Because it's the last week, I think, of college football. Both teams will be undefeated when they play that game. There's a chance that could
It's
happen.
a good chance. Yeah, it actually will happen.
Which will
That's
be
what the Big Ten's
fucking-
always wanted.
Yeah,
They want those two teams fucking housing
it's
everyone.
kind of like our own little national championship.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
hoping we punk them. You know, after last year when we almost had them, I don't know if it'll happen.
I doubt
but-
that. Harbaugh's got that shit fucking.
I don't. It
Lockdown.
really depends on how we. Here's the thing. It really depends on what we look like after this week. I think.
Yeah.
Are you surprised it's taken Harbaugh to this long to get like a really good team? And they were pretty good last year.
No.
right?
No, they were really good last year, and he's had really good teams up until that
He
point.
he's
but
been
I feel like though
consistent.
he's stepped up.
I think
bit the
he's
last
had
couple
to
of
change
years.
a lot of stuff at Michigan, and much like what Scott Frost was tasked to do, there was a lot to fix with us. Except Jim fixed it.
yeah. And,
I don't think
he
and,
had
and obviously
consist-
Scott
he-
didn't, but yeah,
he
Jim
consistently
fixed it.
got better, a little bit at a time. You know.
There was a lull
that
with
was the
quarterback, you know, where people were having some consternation about kind of what was going on, but he figured it out. Last year was kind of like, I don't think it was a peak. I think he continues to, and he's continued to stack really good recruiting classes. Like he's getting people to figure it out, and I'm not surprised. As a 49er
I think they'll beat
fan,
Michigan or Ohio
surprised.
State possibly.
I
This
was
year.
that was a mistake for the Niners to let him go.
absolutely. I'm glad we
I never
fired
understood
Jed
that.
because Jed York was making those decisions, and then finally the DeBartolos came in. We're like, sorry, Jed York, bye. But that was at the expense of Jim Harbaugh, like because those two guys couldn't like come together, and it's like. As a fan, you're like, Jed York, just shut up and listen to your coach because he knows what he wants and he's building the thing and doing the thing. Just do what. Don't necessarily like do it as beckoning, but like really give some credence to what he wants from a draft and how he wants to build the roster. And Jed York was about that type of control of saying fuck you, Jim. I'm gonna draft who I want, and you're gonna do the coaching thing with who I draft. And that's that. And when you get into those battles constantly, someone was like, "Hey, Michigan would like to talk to you." Jim's going to entertain that all day. You know, it's your alma mater, and you fucking hate your boss right now.
Yeah, that's what we wanted with Scott.
We fired Jed the next year, and now Jed York is with Jacksonville right now. So,
Yeah, that one thing sucks about Jacksonville.
Big Wave
that
Kahuna
guys taking over.
Burger.
Because they got James Robinson in their trade. So immediately, that was the thing I told Maxwell who got it from. I was like, dude, Etienne is going to take over. He's like, no, he won't, dude. He's kicking ass. I'm like, yeah, he has. God damn it. But I got a decent receiver, and I love some shit to get rid of.
but to answer your question,
What did I ask?
I'm not surprised about Harbaugh getting that thing turned around up there. Not.
Yeah, I would have faith in Harbaugh. I
think
both of them.
That dude's the way he's turning it in, the way he's changing things. It's going to be even harder for Nebraska to do its thing and get into that.
Is that an
conversation.
IPA?
No, it's an ale.
Michigan is like
Golden
literally
ale.
just one school. They still got Ohio State. Wisconsin most years is going to be really fucking good.
Yeah, their offensive line's also young, but they're still.
Big Kahuna.
Have you ever had this before?
No, I don't think
Longboard?
so.
No, this brewery is really good. The Kona Brewing. The Longboard Ale is.
Do they make
another good
IPAs?
one.
Because they seem like they're an
Yeah,
IPA company.
They do. They
That
make an
may,
IPA.
and that's why I kind of think I've tasted this before.
It's an ale, so it's gonna have a little hop in it. Anyway, sorry.
Sorry.
Was I saying something?
Something about
No, I thought you were waiting. Yeah, it looked like you were maybe just kind of hanging, waiting for a moment to jump in.
Oh.
No, it's fine.
Plus us, each
So-
and every one.
Let's trash talk Dan Snyder. Can we do that? Did you guys read the report on Dan Snyder?
I know about how he supposedly has.
I
this
took a
dirt
shit
on
the other day
everyone
and read
in the
that.
NFL.
That was 20 minutes that I was like, whoa!
was it the guy's shit ever?
It was
Pretty good?
Informationally. It was
All right.
up there, yeah.
Okay.
He's been being investigated for a few years or
He
more now,
has
right?
been, yeah.
For,
For
like,
sexual
tax
assault
evasion.
or sexual...
Was this sexual
Well,
shit?
so I didn't realize it got to this level.
Yeah.
There was something else going on too.
There's
Like a third
the-
thing.
Yeah, Congress is investigating him. Like, they have...
Oh,
tax evasion.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So while this is all happening, he decided to, because apparently all the owners and everybody agrees that he just needs to like sell the team. And they're going to vote here soon. And they might be voting on whether or not to.
No, they
force
just
him to
said
sell.
today. They just said the other day that they're not.
Yeah, they
talking
just
about-
said that, but we'll see what actually happens.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
So
why
this
would
guy, while all this is happening, apparently paid private investigators to investigate all the owners and Roger Goodell. And he claims
get
he
some
has
fucking
damning
dirt on
evidence on multiple people.
they? Jesus.
Yeah. And one of the things
Dirty,
that's
dirty.
being looked into. So Occidental is a
What?
a resort company.
Oh, okay.
And
Wait, Occidental, that's an oil company.
funny. That's actually really funny. But at the Occidental
Conglomerate.
at the Occidental Papagayo Resort is where the Redskins will send the cheerleaders, right?
Oh.
Apparently,
For the calendar shoot.
So apparently,
Now you get my
there was a lot
attention.
apparently there was a lot of advances made to cheerleaders while they were out there
Advances. Describe that for me.
at Washington
How do you do
football
that?
team
How do you
slash
do
executives and whatnot and mayor.
What are they saying to the cheerleaders? Exactly.
Basically, they're trying to court them for sex and shit.
Okay.
So that's part of the investigation.
ow.
You've got the tax evasion. You've got
the Commanders.
the Commanders now. Yeah.
They want to be your dance commanders. It's a song.
Yeah. Well, and there's been a lot of like internal like culture like within the executive offices, like the the
Fucking
We've had
the-
issues
fucking
with
the
that team
secretaries.
being run since Dan Snyder joined.
Yeah.
When he first bought them, they were a really good team.
And they were
good for a few years with him.
He was
But
34
so all
years
the
old
players
when he
were
bought
gone.
him, and he was 34 years old when they bought him. And here's how like he came into the ownership like
They had LeVar
fraternity.
Arrington, Portis.
They were super good.
Champ Bailey.
Yeah, really good. They were not well coached, but they were well drafted. You know, Well, because right up until that point, they had brought back old Joe Gibbs.
Yeah,
as their
they
coach.
were doing really well. They had
Yeah.
great players. I don't know if it was Snyder's watch or not when they did the big trade and got Champ Bailey and Clinton Portis.
Well, maybe, because he took over in, I think, like 2009. He was 34 years old at the time.
They had a really good linebacking core.
Sean
Taylor.
Yeah. So there was a bid, when Arizona hosted the Super Bowl after they got that new stadium.
Yeah.
Arizona?
They had the Super Bowl again this year.
So when Arizona first had that Super Bowl, there was a bid for it after they got that new one in Glendale. Dan Snyder was pushing super hard for it.
Fuck him.
Because he wanted it at FedEx Field. He was like, and he had a presentation, blah, blah, blah. Arizona did theirs first, and just highlighted their new stadium and the area and what it would bring fans, blah, blah, blah. Basically, Dan Snyder's entire presentation was basically about how cool FedEx Field was and how shitty the owners of the Arizona Cardinals were. Like, he actually, and no one probably, and I wouldn't have known this until I read it the other day. Like, the owners of the family that owns the Cardinals, they're actually like super well liked in NFL owner circles. Like, they're one of like they're one of the good guys, quote unquote. Of like, they're one of the good people.
They're the Greens.
Yeah, of the NFL coach or ownership fraternity. So like, you have this young brash asshole like running in and talking shit in a presentation, just as much as talking how good Washington D.C. is, about a really well liked NFL ownership family. So that was the NFL's introduction to this fuck. And then like, you have all these culture issues where there's a lot of sexual assault and sexual innuendo going on in the executive offices. You have all this shit happening with cheerleaders at a resort. Then, you have the bad draft picks. With Dan Snyder, you have the problem.
Fuck him.
Yeah. So he's being investigated by Congress at the moment. And he actually somehow finagled a deal to where he has veto power on what's released in this report.
What?
Yeah. And he's done, as Derek alluded
rich
to,
people that can just fucking pay their way out of
the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, that's right.
He's gotten so paranoid to the point where he's told like people that, fuck Jerry Jones. He's just like trying to like, make me feel good and then come at me later. And Jerry Jones is like, at this point, his reps are like, yeah, Jerry said that, there's nothing he can really do for him because all the owners hate him. Like, and now he can't secure. And the biggest bugaboo is that the owners want to see revenue increasing. Like, every stadium wants to see revenue increase, right? That's why you own a team, is because you're a businessman and you want revenue increasing. Washington's decreasing. Like, they can barely sell out their stadium. They have the lowest ticket sale number.
He's the loser of the group.
Yeah, and they're not like a bad team. He even went as far as started talking to people in Congress to get a bill passed.
People from where his team is at don't even want him there.
Really? So how do you get a new owner?
Washington always had a really loyal fan base.
You have to be kicked out, basically. You have to be asked by the NFL commissioner to sell your team.
Really?
And there's you have to have
a buyout.
You have to have at least a 24 or it's either 24 or 27. 24 or 27 owners, when put to a vote, have to agree to it.
And they would, though, wouldn't they?
It seems so, but they haven't brought it to the table yet.
Ah.
But there's talk
They
that
need
it
a
might
buyer.
be, and that's what brought this whole article on, is that Daniel Snyder's like, I've got fucking dirt on anyone if they want to try to take the team away from me. Because then the other part of his fucking bugaboo was the team name, when it was the Redskins. People were like, you need to change the name. And he's like, we're not going to change this name. It's going to be our name for fucking
We're the
ever.
Redskins.
We are the Redskins forever. And I'm paraphrasing. But he, at this point, like, fans are like, no, you probably should. You probably should change the name. It's kind of offensive, and even Native American groups are saying, hey, could you change the name? It's kind of offensive. It's not until like shit hits the fan to where he's like, okay, maybe I should do it because I'm being investigated by Congress and doing all this other shit. Maybe I should try to throw a white flag
Change some marketing.
He's like a maverick, but not a nice maverick. He's just
propaganda.
Yeah,
I'm going to do shit just to piss you off because it gives me attention.
But he's routinely intervened, or gotten in the way of part of some of the investigations against him. He's been asked.
Where's his money come from?
But I can't remember.
Oil.
I mean, he bought the team for $800 million at
He's at
34.
34.
Fucking 4.
Yeah.
What's the most expensive NFL team?
Is it the Pats?
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
can
they're the
see
most
that.
expensive North American team.
Yeah.
They're actually top 3 in the world.
There's
Between
there's a
Real
Simpsons
Madrid,
episode.
Do you listen to the
them
New Heights,
and
the
Manchester
podcast
United.
with the Kelsey brothers?
No.
And you know Travis and his brother, Jason Kelsey, the
Yeah.
center for the Eagles,
Yeah.
all pro like every year pretty much.
Oh, yeah, I know Jason
So
Kelce.
they started a podcast called New Heights.
Okay.
But he talks about, because the Cowboys and Eagles are playing each other, the difference between the fans. And he's like, Dallas fans, basically, what he said, are like soft. They're all like buy into like this culture, you know. He goes, they're everywhere. Because people just like, yeah, whatever. I'll be a Cowboys fan. He goes, Eagles fans, they're not like that. Like, you're from Philly. You're an Eagles fan. Like, it's a small community, and they pride themselves on being that.
It's kind of like the Chiefs. Like, you're
the
a fucking
Chiefs are a little
fan.
wide. They have a wide territory. You
Yeah,
know?
only because there's nothing around. You know?
You got a 500-mile
Exactly.
radius.
They have
or
Iowa,
I would say maybe even 300-mile
Iowa
radius.
and Nebraska cheers for Kansas City. You know,
There's a lot
not
of
all of
Minnesota
us.
fans around here.
Not
There's
all of us.
still
You're right,
Dallas
you're right.
fans. You get Green Bay fans.
But I'm not
around
even
here.
from the Midwest,
And a
so
lot
I'm
of
just
Denver
a weird bird
fans.
anyway.
So you got 5 other teams you're competing with.
Yeah,
really.
exactly. Yeah.
the one thing I remember about NFL was Homer Simpson wishing he could own the Denver Broncos, and his like
Doesn't he meet John Elway?
maybe, but this is like one of the original like season 6 or fucking whatever. And some expensive guy, a rich guy that he knows, buys him the Minnesota Vikings, and they're like playing on his front lawn, and they're like dropping passes and shit. And Marge is like, I don't know, owning the Minnesota Vikings is pretty cool. And he's like, I guess you just don't know football. It just always made me fucking laugh. I don't know why. Just,
Must have been before Moss.
I mean, it was the 90s most likely, so the Vikings always sucked, and the
Yeah,
Broncos
especially
were
then,
somewhat
for sure.
good. Or
Well,
whatever.
except for when they had Randall Cunningham.
I was gonna say, he was the quarterback before Dante Culpepper, right?
But
They had Andre Reed, Chris Carter, and him.
this is what I've heard.
Not Andre Reed, but Chris
Are the
Carter,
Vikings
yes.
cursed?
When did Andre Reed join? I thought he was there with Randall
He was
Cunningham.
the Bills. Andre Reed was the Bills.
Shut up about that history. Are the Vikings cursed?
Yes.
Ever since they lost to the Chiefs.
No. So I don't know the exact history of the NFL. It's complicated, obviously. The NFL, the
Certainly
AFL.
convoluted.
The NFL was original, right? Or was the AFL original?
Chiefs beat
the
them.
NFL was the
NFL
original.
was
They've done
first.
shit
AFL
since
was
then.
second.
So when the AFL was
Purple
starting,
People Eaters was their defense at the time.
no, listen.
really
When
good.
the AFL was starting up, the Vikings were gonna like be a team in the AFL in the '60s. But then the NFL reached out to them and was like, "Hey, do you want to join the NFL?" And the Vikings said, "Sure, we'd love to." You know, and
That's cool.
the AFL was kind of like pissed off at them, like, "What the fuck?
We just had this fucking
we had
deal,
a-
man.
We had a league. We were starting. We were going to compete with them, and then you just
Right.
left us or whatever. And then they've never won,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Son of a bitch. Cursed.
You know, a little bit of that. Like
I believe in
you
the
could-
Husker hex, too.
because the AFL,
What's the
yeah,
Husker
dude,
Hex?
this like the Cubs thing was real, right?
Yeah, the Cubs, yeah.
Took a whole like century.
As a Cubs fan, like, that was...
Did
like,
it take a century or something
damn
over?
near, yeah.
They won the
Over.
World Series and they'll never do it again for like another century. Or
Yeah,
something.
probably.
I don't even.
But they
know.
won it. I mean...
They left the curse.
They even snuck in a home run king in there, or a home run like runner up.
This
I
is a
suppose.
Cubs thing? I don't know.
Sosa,
I don't
Sammy
know.
Sosa.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh,
we-
yeah.
We were
That's right.
we weren't great.
They
then
were like
either.
teetering.
I mean,
you know?
we were a
They
playoff
teased
team,
it.
but like we weren't like we were with Sosa and Mark Grace. We were kind of like just like a really good team, but like we had
Brought
been
it
that
back to
team forever.
prevalence. You
Yeah,
know, like
and then
and also
as soon as Sosa
the
left,
guy that caught the ball that like
yeah.
Bartman.
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 That's part of that curse. Yeah, man.
Right in front of Moises Saloon.
I only know about it because I've listened to Bill Burr fucking like freak out about it or whatever.
I love Bill Burr.
Yeah.
He's the fucking man.
You watch F is for Family?
I do. That
Well,
shit is
did it end?
hilarious.
Did it finally come out?
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, the
new
new season dropped like several months ago, but it's out. Yeah,
I don't know if I've
months ago. I watched it several months
yeah,
ago.
I've watched it already.
I think
Yeah.
season 5 was last season.
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
no,
was it the last?
Yeah.
There's supposed to be an end. Like it's obviously
okay.
the end. I thought.
Okay, I'm not aware.
He's
of that,
having a heart
but
attack, right?
Who?
That shit is hilarious.
Hank or whatever his name is?
You're way behind.
Yeah, you're a season behind. His dad.
Yeah, that was his dad.
Oh, the guy. No,
That's the last thing
then
I've seen.
maybe
That's
I
the last
haven't
thing
watched
I've
I've seen
seen.
that season when he's like living in the camper next to the house and shit.
Yeah, that was like a year ago. There's
Yeah.
supposed to be a new one out soon. I feel like
Maybe.
it's supposed to end. Like
That's what I'm saying. He'll have a heart attack too.
Yeah, I don't
That's what
foresee
you-
Bill
that's fucked
Burr
up.
voicing a guy or doing this thing for like 10 years or trying to compete with The Simpsons. Like 6 years.
no,
seems
I know.
like-
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to have an ending, but
Makes sense.
As everything
The last
should.
episode, I mean, it wrapped up pretty succinctly. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a special movie.
have you seen something
No.
recent? Because
No.
the last thing I saw was like over a year ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So
But there's more. There's more. There's another season. I know there is.
I don't think so.
No, there. I know there is. I listened to
because
the podcast.
All right,
It's happening.
all right.
So, is football talk over?
Yeah, we.
How do you guys feel about the roughing the passer shit going on?
Oh my
Like,
God!
And the NFL's explanation about it?
What are you talking
That's
about?
funny.
Are you some sort of conspiracy about
No.
roughing the
So like
passer?
they had a bunch of weird calls going on this year.
so close to coming back.
And then the
We were
NFL
about done with football. What are you talking about? Is this NFL?
Yes.
Okay.
After all the fucking horrible roughing the passer calls this weekend, basically everybody's like, NFL needs to say something. And when they said something, it was like, and I'm only paraphrasing here, but they more or less said, fuck you guys. The fucking NFL, they called it, whatever happened, happened.
Who said that?
The NFL did.
That was like the perfect timing.
Yeah, it hurt.
Christ.
That hurt my butthole.
That's called the cracker.
The cracker. That's pretty good. What do you got? What do you got, Derek?
The nail biter.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh.
Ryan,
That's called.
yeah, name it. What's your name for the fart?
Oh, the tap dancer.
Oh, fuck, that's good. Yeah, Brian wins that one.
I was about to say hammer driver, but I like
that
I like
was pretty
tap
good. Yeah, that's
dancer.
good.
Wow.
God, all right.
Are you okay? You need a tap tap?
He has some Clorox?
Little
All I gotta say is you
taparoo.
probably shouldn't try to do that
tap,
again.
Tap. Right?
We'll see what happens.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
Oh. What do you want to talk about now?
Not football.
Well,
I
what?
think we've exhausted that.
What?
I don't know, Ryan, what do we talk about?
Mark,
Besides football.
cut this moment out.
Fuck you, Lane, you son of a bitch. Okay.
Anybody here watch NBA basketball?
God damn it!
No.
Is that it? All right.
Well, we're not doing politics, probably.
No, I don't give a shit about that.
No.
Trump got subpoenaed.
No, I didn't.
He's about
I just
to
heard.
be.
Hey, speaking of Trump, so my
Oh,
kid.
God, we just said.
No,
You
here-
just said.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Watch this. So, I bought my kid the DVD, the real Ghostbusters cartoon, like the DVD set.
The
Remember the
cartoon?
real
The
Ghostbusters?
Was it like the
90s?
90s or late 80s, whatever
Yeah.
that was?
Nice.
Yeah, where you had like Dave Coulier as Peter
Nice.
Venkman and the voice of Fred from Scooby Doo is the voice of Ray. And
I didn't realize
the
it was
voice
different
of Brain, from Pinky and the Brain. The voice of Brain is Egon.
people. Who's the
Slimer.
Slimer? Yeah.
Slimer's also Fred from
Really?
Scooby-Doo.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
That guy is like one of the more like sneaky, most productive voice actors of all time. Like I think.
What's his
I would
name?
say Frank Warner. Frank Warner.
Frank Warner. Well,
He was actually after the original voice of Scooby died. He took that over. Yeah. And he's also all of the monster
but that's the guy from
voices
Scooby
and-
Doo took that over. too.
Correct, Fred. And so the original voice of Fred in anything that you've watched Scooby Doo, he's still alive.
Wow.
Wow.
From
Damn.
the
But-
start all the way to the end.
That's fucking
right
nuts.
now.
Isn't-
like anything. Like Casey Kasem died in like what,
Yeah.
1999 or
No.
2002?
2000.
Was it 2002 or something like that? Hi,
No,
Frank.
it was no.
Maybe even later than that.
Way later.
Either way,
'cause I
either
grew up
way,
with them,
like,
so.
and I think one other voice actor's also passed. So maybe they're all still alive. I'm not unsure, or I am unsure, but I know Shaggy has been replaced by Matthew Lillard.
That's the name.
You know.
That's what I was trying to think of. The guy that played him.
Yeah, even in the
Scooby-Doo
live
or
action
whatever.
ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's and now that my kid's old enough to want to watch Scooby Doo a lot, I find out that the cartoons that anything now with Scooby Doo since, post Casey Kasem is voiced by Matthew Lillard. But back to the the real Ghostbusters. The whole point of this, not to get too off topic, but so we're watching the 10th disc in this motherfucker.
Jesus.
I bought this thing for his birthday in July, and we're now finally to disc 10. And I watch it in my car every
Is
time.
this like from the
almost every time.
70s through the 90s, or
No,
there's
just
a lot
it's
of
just the cartoon.
iterations of
Just the
Scooby-Doo?
cartoon. It was the cartoon would have like 30 or 40 episodes a year for like 4 years.
Yeah,
Fucking
but it's
A.
also
So there's
from
a
the 60s.
lot-
It's like it originated a while
Scooby Doo,
ago.
right?
No, I'm sorry, the real Ghostbusters
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
from
all
the
They had
90s.
4 seasons.
The
you said?
real
right.
Ghostbusters. So
What's your guess? What the run for real Ghostbusters?
The Run.
91 to 92.
no, it was 90
Not
to
even fucking
93.
close.
93 to 90 to 94, I think, or 90 to 93.
You know.
Okay, Derek.
You're confident it's 4 seasons long?
It's pretty close, if
But
memory serves.
it's the 90s.
And there's easily
Or 80s.
89 to 92.
You're the closest. 86 to 91.
Yeah,
What?
What?
yeah. So anyway,
The year I was
we're
born.
probably
When did the
watching
original come out?
The movies, they were
84
kinda
or
early.
85 is when Ghostbusters. 84 actually. I'm sorry, is when Ghostbusters came out originally. 84.
Wow. I'm surprised at that.
Ghostbusters 2 came out in 88. 86. No, it's got to be closer to 90. I'm sorry, 90.
Oh. What's your best guess?
What, Ghostbusters 1?
The show came out.
Ghostbusters
cartoon in
2,
86.
Ghostbusters 2 has to be
87.
88.
87?
Ghostbusters 2 specifically, we're guessing.
Yes.
You said 87?
I don't know. At this point? Wait, no.
Just
no.
Say
Wait a
something.
second.
When did the first one come out?
It's like it's got to be 89.
84?
I'm saying 89. I'm saying
85.
you already said.
Either 84 or 85.
You just guessed that the first
I'm
one
actually
came
gonna
out
go-
after the second one.
Actually, I'm going to say Ghostbusters came out in 85 because so did Back to the Future.
Okay. You said 88. You said 87.
Ah, fuck.
Ghostbusters 2.
I don't know. I grew up on this shit. I don't even know
I'll
if
go
I'm gonna
with
do it.
86 just because
Hey, Ryan's close. It's not going over 89.
Yeah, 89.
That's what I was asking.
Ghostbusters
No, you
2
say
came out in
87, then you
89.
tried to correct yourself.
No.
So when did the first one come out?
84.
84.
Oh wow, so they had a decent 5-year layover.
They Star Wars it.
It was a big deal.
So the whole point
And that's what was Aftermath a big deal?
We did a really good job of tangenting the shit out of this, but like the whole purpose I brought this up is so like today we're driving home, and I've got the DVD playing in my car, and they're like, "Yeah, baby, we should talk to Donald Trump and all of his millions," and I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" Donald
awesome.
Trump was referenced in an
That's
episode of
hilarious.
goddamn The Real Ghostbusters in 1991, and as a multi-billionaire because it was like Peter Venkman or something.
I remember. I remember the weird. Like the only thing I remember from Home Alone, I think 2. I think is Trump.
Yeah, he
And, like-
shows up in it. Yeah,
That's
What
the
the fuck?
only thing you remember from that one?
I think so. The cheese pizza, the limo,
Wow,
and
the
Donald Trump for some reason.
Pigeon
Look at
Lady.
the Sticky Bandits.
I remember pigeons.
Yeah. yeah.
But yeah, you nailed it. otherwise.
He's got the whole fucking like apartment building or
Oh,
whatever.
whatever
it
the fuck
was.
ever. I'm saying it was a pop culture thing. I go, oh, I remember when that guy was like, oh, okay, there's that guy.
Donald Trump was like the fucking background character. You didn't even know who it was as a kid.
It's because he ran into Trump Tower.
I didn't even fucking know.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
I cared more about the fucking guy at the front desk. That was.
I just have
fucking
to look to
hilarious.
Derek for the proper imitation of it.
Me?
What the fuck? What? That's it? What the hell was that?
What does it even say? Like, excuse me, sir. Do you know where the lobby is?
I don't know, kid.
I am no staff, alright, my people? You him that way. On the left-hand side, just take it around the corner. There's a sandwich shop there. Great sandwiches. Phenomenal. Everyone knows. Stop at the sandwich. Your friends around the corner. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, whatever.
But where's the pool at?
It's in the back.
In the back of what?
Do the Amy from Congo. I'm sorry, you gotta do an impression. So I gotta see Amy from Congo.
Amy from Congo. The fucking monkey.
Amy, what friend? What friend? Amy.
Go this way.
What? Why is that so goddamn funny? I don't know why that's so funny.
Bad monkey. Amy,
Hi. Amy,
home.
hi.
Go home, please.
Don't love me. What? That song run?
Congo.
Take me home, my
monkey.
Amy.
What? The monkey starts singing. I don't remember Congo that much. I just
What
remember
was it? Take me home. Take
the silverbacks, right? There's the silverback.
Yeah, I saw a
apes.
lot more blood, I think. A lot less song and dance in Congo.
No, there's that scene where it's all like.
All I
I'm pretty
remember
sure I saw an arm get ripped
is
off.
the silverbacks show up and fuck the
Oh, they
fuck
had
out of
him
people.
cut them.